Hey there, and welcome to Yoga with Rachel. Today's yoga practice is dedicated to those who like to spend time out in their garden. However, even though this yoga practice is titled Yoga for Gardeners, I want to mention this is really yoga for everyone. We will tend to the mind and the body in such a loving and nurturing way today. In terms of items, feel free to bring with you a blanket or a pillow. And without further ado, let's get started. Join me on your mat, finding a cross-legged seat. Feel free to sit up on a pillow or a folded blanket just to create a little bit more space in the body and a bit more ease in our first posture. So right away, we are going to tap on into some garden imagery. So I invite us all to just tap on into that creative mind as we imagine that we are planting a seed at the base of our spine, so right at the tailbone, planting it down on into the earth. Our legs, our feet transform into the roots, holding us here rooted in one place. And now I invite you to just round through your back body, bow your head. And now imagine that your torso has transformed into the stem of the plant or the flower, and the head is the flowering part. So now we are just going to slowly roll on up through the spine. Last to reach towards the sky is the crown of the head. The top of our head reaches towards the sun, looking for light, warmth, nourishment, all that good stuff. And now I invite you to place your hands on your thighs, breathe on in through your nose, and then as you breathe out, either look down and past your nose, or you can close your eyes. Take a nourishing breath in and a nourishing breath out. Breathing in to invite some fresh oxygen into the body and breathing out. Breathe in, breathe out. I invite you to consider what the word nourishment means to you. In what ways do you nourish the plants in your garden? In other words, how do you take care of the plants in your garden? Now I invite you to consider how you are like a plant. And I know that you may be thinking, what on earth is Rachel talking about? Just keep an open mind and just explore this understanding or this question. How are you like a plant? How do you nurture yourself? An example could be staying hydrated throughout your day. Another example could be eating a snack when you're feeling hungry, not just waiting for later on in the day because you're just too busy with whatever's going on. It could be going for a walk to get some fresh air. So I invite you to explore the word nourishment as we move today, and perhaps explore how this word relates to how you move on the mat and also off of your mat. Let's take a loving breath in and then a loving breath out. You can keep your eyes closed for this. Let's drop our chin towards the chest. And then roll the chin over towards the left side, so that way you're looking past your left shoulder. And then back through center, and then over to the right side. Back through center, and then to the left. Back through center, and then to the right. So we are just drawing some semicircles. So I invite you to keep this action going, or you can explore some full circles. Okay, and then bring your head back over your heart space. Open your eyes, and then place your fingertips on your shoulders. Now draw your elbows up towards the sky, around, and then down. So essentially we're just drawing some circles with the elbows. So you can take it away. You're just trying to release some tension in the shoulders, improve some circulation to this area of the body. Wonderful. Now release your fingertips to the earth. Breathe in to send your hands high into the sky, spread through your fingers, palms facing forward. And then as you breathe out, imagine that you're grabbing a bar up and overhead and just pull down that bar, bending at your elbows, coming to the halfway point, goalpost arms. Draw your hands back. Breathe in, hands to the sky. And then breathe out to bend at your elbows, opening on up through the heart space. Breathe in, hands up and overhead. And then breathe out to bend at your elbows. Draw the hands back in space, just creating a beautiful opening throughout and across the chest. Breathe in here. And then breathe out to release your fingers to the earth. Now, send your legs out long on your mat. Feet are about hip distance apart, and then point your feet, your toes, I should say, towards the sky. Now hug your right knee in towards your chest. Give it a little squeeze, a little love, a nurturing hug. Breathe in here, and then breathe out to twist to the right, releasing your right fingertips to the earth, and then your outer left elbow connects with your outer right thigh. Breathe in to lift your heart. And then breathe out to journey a little bit deeper into this twist. Allowing the breath to move your actions here. So that way we're not forcing our body in any particular shape. We honor and respect our bodies. And this could be one way in which we nurture both our mind and our body. Breathe in here, and then breathe out to unravel, facing forward. Send your right leg out long, and then hug your left knee in. Breathe in here, and then breathe out to twist to the left. Breathe in to sit a little taller through your spine, and then breathe out to journey a little bit deeper into the twist, looking past your left shoulder. Breathe in here, and then breathe out to unravel, facing forward, and now bring both legs in, and then bring the soles of your feet together. Allow your knees to fall open, and feel free to walk your heels in towards your body if you are looking for a deeper stretch, or take up space. It's all good. Place your hands on your ankles, loop your shoulders, lift your heart, lift your chin slightly. And now flutter your wings, also known as your legs, up and down. Imagining perhaps that you have transformed into a butterfly. You're flying around your garden, just having a good old time. And now find stillness. Take your thumbs and now begin to massage the arches of your feet. So giving back to our foundation in a loving and nurturing way, especially if you've been out in your garden, standing on your feet. This could feel really lovely. And plus, we spend a lot of the time with our feet crammed into socks and shoes, so this is such a great way to give back to your base. And then you can massage the tops of your feet, your toesies, the heels, the ankles, the shins. Go inward, listen to your body, what would feel really good right here and right now. Okay, now interlace your fingers and then place them around your toes. Breathe in here, and then breathe out to round through your spine, bowing your head, allowing your head and your neck to grow heavy here, perhaps even just exploring a deeper opening in your hips. Connecting to your breath. Just allowing your breath to flow through you. Breathe in here. And now breathe out to slowly roll up through your spine. Take your time. And now bring your hands to your thighs and then close your legs. And now let's make our way to all fours. So feel free to continue to make use of your blanket or your pillow, whatever you brought with you to the practice. You can use this item to pad your knees. And now, once you have arrived on all fours, stack your wrists underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hip points. Press down into the tops of your feet. So we're really rooting down here. Spread through your fingers, pressing into the fingertips. Elbow creases shine forward. And just find a small bend in your elbows. Rock your pelvis forward, creating length through the low back. Now let's just play around with lifting the thumbs away from the earth. So pressing into all the other fingerprints, keeping them rooted in place. And then lower. Now lifting the index fingers only away from the earth. Other fingerprints are pressing into the earth. And then lower. Lifting the middle fingers away from the ground. Finding a small bend in those elbows. And then lower. Now play around with lifting just the ring finger only away from the earth. Just notice what other fingers may want to lift up in response. And then lower. And now playing around with lifting the pinky fingers away from the ground. This can be a very small movement. And then lower. Now just take a moment to notice how you feel. All right, now turn your hands out to face towards the long edges of your mat. So your right fingers turn out to face towards the right side and your left fingers turn out to face towards the left. Press away from your yoga mat so we're not collapsed in the shoulders, we're pressing away, spreading through the fingers. Breathing deeply here. Great. Now I invite you to play around turning your right fingers in towards your body, to stretch on out through your right wrist, your forearm. And now turn your right fingers to face towards the right side once again, as you turn your left fingers in towards your body. And now turn your left fingers out towards the left side. And now there is an option to stay here, or you can play around with turning both fingers in towards your body, sets of fingers in towards your body. And then just draw some really small circles with the hips, very, very small. Just notice how this feels. Lovely. Find stillness as you turn your fingers forward. And now just sit back towards your heels And just massage your wrists. All right, darling friends, let's make our way back to all fours. Finding your tabletop position, and then on your next breath in, reach your tailbone towards the sky, arching through your back body, look forward. And then breathe out to round through your spine, tucking your tailbone under, rounding through. Breathe in to find your cow stretch, stretching through the front body. And then breathing out to explore your cat stretch. Breathe in, coming back the way that you came, creating some space. And then breathing out, rounding through. Breathe in to find a neutral spine. Curl your right toes under, and then slide your right foot towards the back edge of your mat. Find a little forward and rock motion, stretching it on out. Now find stillness as you draw your right toes over towards the left side, maybe even off of your yoga mat, and then turn to look past your left shoulder towards your right toes. Breathing some loving and nurturing breath cycles into the right side body. Again, pressing away from your yoga mat. Breathe in here. And then breathe out to draw your right toes back and then your right knee underneath your hip. As you curl your left toes under, sliding the left foot towards the back edge of your mat, we find that forward and back rocking motion. Before exploring stillness, and then drawing the left toes over towards the right side, turning to look past your right shoulder. Breathe in here, and then breathe out to draw your left toes back, and then bring your left knee underneath your hip. Now bring your big toes together, knees about as wide as your yoga mat, and then sit back towards your heels, reaching your hands forward. I now invite you to take a loving, nurturing breath in through your nose. And then as you breathe out, melt your heart space towards the earth, releasing your forearms and your forehead to or towards the earth. If you are looking for a little bit more space, I do invite you to stack your fists on top of one another and then rest your forehead on top of your stacked fists. As you breathe here, just pay attention to where you feel the breath moving you. I invite you to reflect upon the word nourishment once again. And then perhaps even just considering how you take care of plants in your garden. And maybe even just connecting this to how you take care of you. How you tend to the mind, the body. Breathe in. Breathe out. Lift your head as you look forward and then rise on up. Walk your wrists underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, shins are parallel to one another, and now curl your toes under to stretch on out through the soles of your feet as well as your toes. Now slide your right foot towards the back edge of your mat. Breathe in here, and then breathe out to hug your right knee in towards your chest, and then step your right foot through. Now you can walk that left knee back in space just to deepen the stretch. Your front knee is stacked over top of your ankle. Keep those back toes curled under, or if it feels more stable for you, feel free to untuck your toes. Breathe in Breathe out. On your next breath in, send your hands high into the sky, really pressing out of your foundation, hugging everything in towards center, towards the midline. Belly button hugs in towards the spine. Breathe in here. And then breathe out to swim your hands back and behind you, interlacing your fingers by your tailbone, where we planted that seed at the beginning of class. And now reach your hands towards the earth and then away from your body to open on up through your heart. Lift your chest, lift your chin. Now, my friends, another option is to just place your hands on your hips, draw the elbows back in space, still getting a beautiful opening in the heart. Breathe in here, and then breathe out to release the bind, sending your hands to the sky before floating your hands back down to the ground. Plant your palms, and then step your right foot back to meet your left, tucking both toes under once again. Now slide your left foot towards the back edge of your mat. Breathe in here, and then breathe out to hug your left knee in towards your chest before stepping your left foot through. Invitation to walk that right knee back in space. So find your foundation, find your footing here. Breathe in, breathe out. On your next breath in, send the hands high into the sky, reaching for those stars, reaching for the sun maybe. And then breathe out to send your hands back and behind you, interlace your fingers, maybe opposite thumb on top this time. And now reach your hands towards the ground and then away from your body. Lift your chest slightly, lift your chin slightly as you draw the shoulder blades closer towards one another. Breathe in, and then breathe out to release the bind, floating the hands high into the sky before sending the hands back down to the earth, planting your palms and then stepping your left foot back to meet your right foot. Swing your legs to one side, and now we are going to lay on our backs. However, before we journey down to the ground, if you are working with a blanket or a pillow, you can place it at the back edge of your mat, and this will be used to support your head and your neck. If you are working with a blanket, you can actually fold or roll the edge that's closest to you 1 or 2 times, as this can help support the natural curvature of your neck. All right, so let's make our way down to the ground. And then when you are settled, walk both feet in towards the hips, knees point towards the sky. And now hug your right knee in towards your chest. Interlace your fingers behind your right thigh, so on the hamstring. Point through your toes. Breathe in. Breathe out to send your right foot high into the sky. And then flex through your foot, so pointing your toes towards the back edge of your mat. Feel free to find a generous bend in that right leg, especially if the hamstrings are feeling quite tight or the calf muscle. I also invite you to just rotate through your right ankle. So this stretch may feel really lovely, especially if you've just been out in your garden and you were standing on your feet for a long period of time. So this is just kind of bringing back some energy to tired legs, tired feet, getting the blood flowing in another direction. Beautiful. Now hug your right knee back in towards your chest as you send your left leg out long on your mat. Now begin to guide your right knee over towards the left side, hooking the top of your right foot on the back of your left leg. And now you may need to just adjust your hips in the spinal twist. Send your arms from left to right and then bend at your elbows, finding goalpost or cactus arms, palms reaching towards the sky. So we are doing our best here to keep the shoulder blades pinned to the earth as best as we can. And my friends, if this option is not jiving with you, it's all good. You can always just stack the legs, bending at the knees, and find a reclined twist, like so. So there's always options to work with. Make this practice your own, go inward. And maybe that's one way in which you nurture yourself, is by listening to your body. If something doesn't feel good, we back out of whatever it is and explore something that works well for us. Breathe in, and then breathe out to unravel. And then hug your left knee in towards your chest, placing the sole of your right foot on the ground. Now interlace your fingers behind the back of your left thigh, point through your toes, breathe in here, and then breathe out to direct your left foot high into the sky. Now flex through that left foot. So we're staying really active in the foot. Again, feel free to keep a generous bend in that extended leg. Soften through your face, soften through the shoulders. Just find areas in which you may be gripping or holding. Just breathing into those areas, finding a little bit more ease, a little bit more grace in our practice. And now hug your left knee in towards your chest, and then send your right leg out long, and then guide your left knee over towards the right side. Arms go from left to right, bending at your elbows, finding your goalpost or your cactus arms. And just breathe here. Breathe in, and then breathe out to unravel. Sending both legs out long on your mat, feet grow heavy. Place your left hand on your heart space, and then your right hand on your belly. And breathe in through your nose. And then on your breath out, I invite you to close your eyes. Take a moment to reflect upon today's theme, nourishment, what this word means to you, and perhaps how you can apply this understanding to yourself, both on and off of your yoga mat. This understanding to the time that you spend in your garden. Now, there's no right or wrong answer, and you do not even need to have an answer. As always, I just invite you to consider this, because a lot of what we do on our yoga mat can be applied to our daily lives. The tools of yoga can help and support us not only on our mats, but also off of the yoga mat. And it can be pretty interesting when you start to see these connections, or start to feel the connections that are created. I now invite you to bring your palms together, thumbs to your third eye, between the eyebrows. Apply gentle pressure, which may feel really nice for the sinuses, especially during this time of year. I know mine are acting up. I'm allergic to grass of all things. There's one fun fact about me. I'm allergic to grass. All right. Breathe in through your nose, and then just empty it out through your mouth. Thank you so very much for being here. Lots of love to you. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day. Namaste.